What's up and welcome to a new video. So today I'm going to be breaking down one of my remixes I dropped recently. This one is by Kabza and various artists and all that. And the track has a lot of features as they usually do in these Amapiano tracks. Kabza has a lot of hits that are super amazing. He's an amazing, like the most talented Amapiano producer to date. That's why he's the Amapiano king, right? So I had to take a crack at this track because I really felt this track when I listened to it. It's a really awesome song and I just had to take a crack at it to remix it and kind of flip it into something super brand new and fresh, you know, and using the sound that is, you know, the now sound. So I want to break it down and show you everything that I used here, and I'm also going to touch on some of the vocals as well. The vocals I put in here, I didn't really do too much to them as usual because I want to keep the original soul of the original track intact without messing about too much, you know, with the vibe of the thing, right? So there is the project right here, as you can see right here on my screen. This is the project. This is how everything is looking, and you know, you can also see some automations right there. I just automated this deep wave bass and then this mysterious synth lead, just the volume right there in the beginning. So not much to cover when it comes to automation, but the production is something that I really want to get into. So the vocals themselves sound really good. Like if I play from here, they sound great, they sound amazing. But what I wanted to do, the first thing as I was getting into remixing this track, I wanted to work on a bass first. So what I did, I added this deep bass sound here, this deep wave bass, and then I created this. It sounds really great, and you can tell that it has a little bit of a glide on it around this section here. You could hear the glide coming in and it sounds really good. It sounds amazing. And then after that, I would to make like a super deep sound, I layered a heavy sub bass underneath, just playing the same notes, but this added like a lot of really that low end rumble that I wanted to add to this bass. So I'm gonna play the original bass, this first bass that is on top first, and then I'm just gonna like cut in the heavy sub bass, and you're gonna hear how the sub bass really elevates it. I hope you have some really nice bass in your system that you're listening to right now. If you're just on a phone, you might want to switch to big speakers or headphones if you do have those. So I'm just gonna start playing right now. Did you hear that though? That sounds really good, right? And then the next thing I added here was this next instrument here called the cloudy plugged synth. That's what I added here, and I created a melody with it, just a simple melody here. So if I add it to the bass, so it sounds really good. I found the sound in retro synth. That's how the sound sounds like, right? You can see it has a lot of high frequencies that are like left out. You can see right here it's on low pass, so it's letting a lot of low frequencies enter. So I wanted something you know, really nice with that texture there. And then I also added this dream dancer sound. As you can see here, it's short notes. So it's just playing that one note just to add a little bit of a bounce and swing to the rhythm of the track. And then I also added this pixel dust, and the previous sound is an ES2 right here. That's where you can find it. And then next up, I've got this pixel dust, which is a sound that I picked up in Alchemy. So here's the sound. It's also not playing so many notes, it's just playing just one note, and then it sounds like this in the track. Super simple. It's really not doing much, but it's adding to everything. Then next up, I added this mysterious synth lead that I found in Alchemy 2. You heard that, right? It's like filling in all the gaps that these other sounds are not, hitting on. So just filling in everything so that there's no space in between in the melodic areas. And then next up, I added some strings. Like you can see, there's the song called the slow swell shimmers, and then the full strings plus. So I just wanted to add like a nice atmosphere of strings. So this is with the strings. So these are just like drone notes of strings that are just adding a nice vibe to it. And then next up, I added this expanding plug here, and the strings themselves, they're just in samplers. They're not in no particular plugin. It's just in samplers here. And the other one, yes, it is in Alchemy. If you want to find it in Alchemy, you can find it there. And then the next one here is this expanding plug. Let me play it for you so you can hear how that sounds. Let me just bring this back right here. I really like this sound. It sounds really good. I found this sound in retro synth. So you can see that the sound changes as you play, right? And that's what I liked about it. And then now we can get into the drums, right? And then we're gonna get into like the log drum bass that I threw in there. And it's actually not titled log drum bass because I was just copying the stuff. So let me name it right. Okay, there we go, log drum. That's right here. But let's get into the drums first, right? Let's get into the next drums first. So I added a top kick first because I wanted to start the track with a top kick, because I really like how a top kick just gets the groove going. Instead of adding a silence, I like to add a top kick. There it is, perfect top kick. And then after that, I added my perfect kick 3 right here. So all these drums, you can find them in the link down below. If you want drums for house music, you can check them out below. And then it's gonna lead into the kick. Just like that. And then next up, I added a snare number 5. That's also found in my samples, in my drum kits. It's just doing that. It's not really doing much. I didn't do too much when it comes to the snare on this track. And then after that, I added a crash. Just a very short crash. I didn't want a crash that's too long with a lot of decay. Then after that, I added the sound here. You hear that? That's got some low energy, just adding a nice groove to the track. And then I layered it with a tom sound. That's just playing one note. Just that simple. Next up, I added a loop, an Afro loop that you can also find in my drum kits and sample packs. It's a really nice Afro loop that I added to really bring out the track, because it's got all the other sounds that we're missing right here, the percussions and everything. It sounds really good. It really added everything that was missing to these drums, right? So loops for me are really important. I like how they fill out everything, and you don't have to super create them from scratch. If you want to do that and you've got the time, then you can go ahead and do that. But for me, I like to just throw them in just to make everything super easy. And then I added a head buzzer one shot right here to just give that Afro vibe. So if I play it from here, you can hear how it sounds in the track. And then when it comes to the arrangement, what you can see with the arrangement is that there's a gap right here around this section here. There's a gap. So what I wanted to do was create kind of a build up so that the track builds up, and then the log drum comes in, and then it goes crazy. So I want you to hear how that sounds right in the track before I break down the log drum itself. And you can hear how the instruments are opening up right there. Yo, this log drum hits, bro. It hits. So you can see here I have two layers, right? I have a log drum, and then I have this deep sub bass. Again, I did the same thing that I did on my other basses for around the A sections there. So I just layered. So with just the log drum itself, it sounds like this, so that you can just see and hear how the log drum sounds on its own. You heard the sound of the deep sub bass as soon as it kicked in, right? I'm pretty sure you caught that. If you didn't, you can just rewind the video and catch it again and play that part again. But what I did hear the difference, if you were like perceptive enough to notice the difference here, is that the log drum notes are cut. Like I have them like split up. They're cut up and there's more pieces of them than the deep sub bass. You can see the deep sub bass is sustaining the notes much longer than the log drum, because I wanted the log drum itself to really be hitting and, you know, play around and really be busy, but I didn't want the deep sub bass to be that busy. So if you don't do this when it comes to your layering of sub basses with log drum, you should try that out. Make your sub bass sustain more instead of just copying the cut of the log drum. That way your log drum can be more dynamic than the sub, because you just want the sub to hold down the low frequencies, like around 100 going down, or even, you know, all the way down, and then it just holds that sub rumble that you want, and then the log drum is just giving the vibe and the rhythm and the groove and giving that knock that you want in your bass line. So all in all, the track will sound really great. If you want to listen to this track in full, I'll drop a link down below. You can check out the remix that's here on the channel and also the other remixes that I have. But this came out great. Like, I really love this part here where the log drum kicks in. It is amazing. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let me know, out of 10, how would you rate this remix? I would love to know. If you're new here, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.